It is unprecedented. It is the most consequential attack on American democracy in the history of our country. And I think your previous panelist was right. This is what mafia does. And what Trump was essentially saying to Raffensperger, the Secretary of State in Georgia, is, hey, get me 12,000 votes so I can win. And if not, by the way, there may be criminal action against you and your attorney. This is beyond outrageous. This is not only impeachable, it is certainly a criminal offense. When you run for office, you can't threaten public officials about manipulating the vote for you to win. That is not what democracy is about.
What do you think can be done about it, if anything?
I'm sorry, Andrew.
Well, what do you think, Senator? I'm sorry. What do you think can be done, if anything, about it? Maybe by state officials. We've seen now this unprecedented op-ed today from 10 former secretaries of defense in both parties who are concerned about the military not getting involved as the president still feeds these controversies.
Well, in the midst of all of this, Andrea, remember there are a dozen Republican senators and 140 members in the House working with Trump to really undermine American democracy. But in the Senate, you have 40 U.S. senators, Republican senators, who are not doing that. So at the end of the day, we're going to end up with, 88, 90 votes, making clear that Biden was elected president. But I think after Biden becomes president, we need to do a whole lot of work in a variety of ways to restore the faith of the American people, not only in their government, but in the foundations of democracy. We need to understand that there are tens of millions of people who have given up on democracy. It's not just they voted for Trump. When you talk about undermining the election results, what you're talking about is tyranny. You're talking about authoritarianism. You're talking about somebody who said, we don't need elections. Hey, I'm here. Maybe I'll stay for life. This is what our country and millions of men and women in the armed forces have put their lives on the line to avoid. We believe in democracy, and we are not going to allow a tyrant like Trump to undermine it. But there's a lot of work that has to be done in restoring faith on the part of the American people in their government.
Do you think he should be investigated on the state issues and prosecuted if they prove, to be a prosecutable case?
Let's take one step at a time. What has to happen now in the next couple of weeks is Biden has to be inaugurated. And when I talk about restoring faith on the part of working people in this country with their government, we need an aggressive agenda. After Biden is inaugurated, we need to immediately come back with a COVID emergency stimulus package, because right now, Andrea, there are tens of millions of families who are worried about eviction. They have no income. They're having a hard time feeding their family. And what we have got to do on day one of the Biden administration is to say, we understand your pain. We are on your side. So if you want to restore faith in government, you got to respond to the needs of people who are hurting right now.
And are you concerned about the debate, though, that will take place with all of these senators objecting? And in each case, they get time and then time for it to go back to the other house. I mean, there's a whole process here that's going to feed the conspiracy theories further.
Right. Yeah, I am concerned. It's going to be a long and painful day. I'm going to be there, and we're going to go back to the Senate and go back to the Senate, I guess, for 6 states. But at the end of the day, 88 or 90 senators are going to vote to uphold the election results. And it really is fairly pathetic that you have some senators who I suspect are using this as an opportunity to get more name recognition as they plan their presidential campaigns. You don't undermine American democracy in order to gain support for a presidential election. There are a lot of ways you can do that. but not by denying the victor of an election his ability to become president.
And before I let you go, again, that unusual statement by the former defense secretaries.
Yeah.
Are you concerned, given the fact that we have an acting defense secretary, Esper was forced out, other people were purged, you have no real leadership there on the civilian side? Are you concerned about something happening either at home or abroad militarily?
Well, given the irresponsibility and recklessness and irrationality of Trump, yeah, of course, I worry every day. But I think at the end of the day, the U.S. military is a very professional institution. They understand exactly what is happening right now, and I do not believe that they will allow themselves to be drawn into Trump's conspiracy theories. But the bottom line is, on January 20th, I fully expect that Joe Biden will be inaugurated as president of the United States.
And finally, I just want to ask you, I know the mayor here in D.C. has called on people not to come to D.C. We're really hoping that these protests that the president's calling for are going to be peaceful. They weren't back just a few weeks ago. What would your call be to the counter-protesters who might be wanting to show up? Should they all stay home and hope for as much quiet as possible on the 6th?
Well, all that I can say is, people have the right to protest, but I would urge everybody to make sure that there is no violence. That would be a terrible, terrible thing. So let's all, if you want to protest, come out, march, do what you do, but let's not have any violence.
Senator Bernie Sanders, thank you very much. Thanks for being with us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Andrew.